Hello. Okay. This is like way past my. I need to stop working because I woke up at 5 this morning and I've been just working non-stop all day. So I'm very tired. But this is the last thing I'm doing today, and it might not work. But I just thought I should record this because this is something that is, I think a lot of people just don't know about this. So I'm working on rewriting the way that the input buffer system works, and the buffers, the underlying buffers that I use for like recording and playback for the input system and the send and receive buffers. It uses the same underlying system. And in addition to that, I changed the implementation of the sample mipmaps, which is basically the same way that you do for like in graphics programming, where you create like mipmaps where you have like an image and then you create like the half size image and then half, and then you bundle them all together into something called a mipmap. So I have the same sort of system for sample data, which I use for like efficiently generating waveforms. I threw the old version away and I rewrote it in a better way, in a way that better interoperates with everything else that I'm doing. And it doesn't work properly because it always happens when you rewrite something, you introduce a bunch of bugs because you rewrite it. So there we go, straight away. Okay, so I have okay. So it said paused on breakpoint here. Okay, so it's broken in the graphics driver here, but that doesn't always break there. It breaks somewhere different every time. But it's basically, as soon as I have a waveform on the screen, there's a chance of some kind of heap corruption. Now it's happening a lot more often now, but it will always break somewhere different. See, now it doesn't even break at all. And then I can zoom in and see that the waveform is not actually rendering correctly, I don't think. So there's all kinds of problems. But the important point is I have heap corruption. So it'll just like break in random places, and it'll break in places that are like related to memory. So here it's like breaking in operated delete, and it will sometimes break when memory is being allocated. So that just says to me, like here, it's just breaking somewhere completely random. But it's probably like just after some memory has been allocated or something like that. So it just says to me that there's some kind of memory heap corruption thing where I've just broken something. I've introduced some bug that's just causing some heap corruption, and these kinds of bugs are really... So ages ago, I found this years ago, this one Stack Overflow post, which just tells you about the command arguments that you need to pass to gflags, which is this magical, if you have Visual Studio installed, I think, then you'll have gflags on your system. So let me just find, so I'm just in another monitor now, so I'm finding that one. So this is a magical program, which I'm not going to explain exactly what it does because it doesn't really matter, because the only thing you need to know about it is these arguments. So the way that I debug Blockhead is, because it's a Godot project, I run, what do I do? I run the Godot executable and then pass it my project. So basically I'm going to change the settings of this Godot executable, which is like a permanent change. So if I forget to change it back, it will constantly be in this weird mode from now on. So I have to remember to change it back when I'm done. I don't know if this goes into like the Windows registry or something like that. Maybe that's how it works. But this is the executable here. So gflags.exe /p/enable this thing, /full. And then you say yes to that. Now that executable is now in some weird special mode where it will like check for memory corruption all over the place. And so it really slows the entire executable down. So if I debug now, it'll be very, very slow. But it means that as soon as I do something wrong, like related to like memory allocation, or if I'm like reading or writing out of bounds or something like that, it should flag it up immediately rather than just breaking in at a random time later on. So let's see what happens now. You can see everything's very slow now. Okay, I found it straight away. It's such a good tool. Everyone should know about gflags if you program on Windows. So straight away I can see I'm accessing a buffer. I've obviously done something wrong here. Let's see. Buffer. Yeah, I see it. I shouldn't be adding start here. And the same problem here, I guess, is probably the problem. Yeah, yeah, that's fantastic. So it's just I here and I here, because this buffer, contrary to the way that my old bitmap system worked, this callback, this buffer is like pre-offset into the point in the buffer where you need to write. So I don't have to calculate it based on this start anymore. So that's my bug. So that should fix my issue. Now, very important is to remember to disable to make that executable usable again, because otherwise it will just be slow forever. I don't know if it goes into the Windows registry or how that works exactly, or maybe I don't think it's like modifying the actual executable. That would be insane, wouldn't it? I don't know. But anyway, that executable is back to normal now. So now when I'm pretty sure that was just my entire bug right there. So now we wait for this to write. Unfortunately, this isn't a header file, which is included everywhere. So we have to wait for. Okay. I'm definitely going to edit out that the build time. But let's see. Okay. And the waveforms look correct now when you zoom in. Fantastic. So there we go. There's a bit of knowledge. gflags located in this place.